don't want you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a look at JASMY on the Nexus weekly. And I think we'll look at some other periods as well, but as of right now, this current weekly is above the previous one. So that means that we are looking for continuation to the upward direction, which we definitely got. Now, if we look at the weekly and we take a measured move from the top of that weekly range up to, and I have to turn this on actually, up to these R7, which I pretty much nailed it anyway. So I'm just going to clone that. We're going to take it up. So typically what we'll find is when we hit the R7 on a period, a lot of times what it'll do is it'll hit it. In this case, it kind of hit it, went a little bit above, came back down, but then it did find support on it. Once it finds support on that R7, typically what you'll see is a double move, if not even a triple play move, where the potential is there to actually come up into that 19 cents. Now we are showing a little bit of weakness, but if we look at another period, which I will in a second, I just want to say that this weekly range is still a naked range, but because we saw so much bullishness, the probability to come into this weekly range this week is pretty well zero. Let's face facts, and this would be a dead zone, but it is still naked, and there is still a probability, 80% probability that price will come into it. It just wouldn't be within this period. And then depending on if there was any big news on JASMY, I haven't looked up any of the news, but if there was any big news, then there is the possibility that this will remain a naked just for that very reason, and then we wouldn't see a return back into it. But we are super bullish, but that does still mean that price technically, and not likely this week, could eventually make its way back down for a 60% drop. Now we go into different periods, and I'll just bring up the monthly. So we bring up the monthly period. You can see that price moved up into that monthly range, kind of ranged within it, up to that monthly R1, found support, and once it found support, we had that big push up. And you can see that we actually did hit that R7 on the monthly as well, and now we are pushing up above that. So there is still the potential even for this one here to give us a double R7 on the monthly. And let me just clone that. You can see that there's that potential to move up into that 19 cents or even another double on top of that. But it is showing a little bit of weakness, or at least a little bit of a retraction back, and then we'll see if we can actually get up into that 19.7 kind of range area. Now I'm going to quickly bring up the yearly. And if we look at the yearly, we do have a not a true yearly, and basically what that means is there's not enough data to formulate this yearly from previous, but this yearly range is still here, but it's not a true range. But basically back here, I did do a measured move, and we were looking at like 140% or something like that, so 200%. So what we actually did from the start of that yearly, even if we take it from here or down here, we did get that 300-400% move. We pretty much did get that there, and then there is still that potential to actually get up into that 800% move, which would be, if we take it from here, we're still looking at the 20%, which is probably like maybe 5 from where it ended up to here, or continuation up to another 120% move on JASMY. So that potential is there. Now I will bring it into the machine for 1 second. Take a look at the daily, I think. Let me just zoom in here a bit. So you can see on the daily itself, everything is obviously bullish. We've pushed up into the trend on everything. We have very strong support still at that 009, but we are pushing that 3.2. So because this is so bullish, price typically doesn't leave that 3.2, only 0.3% of the time. So we are like really pushing that. You can see the Bollinger Bands are expanding. So it is a pretty strong measured move. And then on the 8 hour, we hit that 3.2, and that's where we got rejected and started to fall back down. So, but again, very bullish still. And we're looking at that 1 cent 11.5 as strong, very strong support. Now if this 10 on the quasi does come into the range above the plus 100, then we could see a move back down to probably that 1 cent area. But again, because of the bullishness, the support will likely hold and then push up higher one more time. If it does collapse on itself, then this 50 support will definitely hold just because of how high it is on that quasi. And then the 4 hour, we're still above that range. Just kind of tends just about to come into it. But again, same thing, strong support at that 13.4. And even if I go into the 1 hour, we have the mean reversion on the, we had the mean reversion on the 10, which we already got. And then we're looking at, well, it's just starting to come in on the 20 white. So we could see a move down to the support area here, 13.7, before it continues in the upward direction or collapses on itself and comes down to the 12 cent at this range here. So that's what I have for JASMY. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.